Thanks for joining us, folks. Vic McCarty in Leelanau County at the Government Center. We're actually in the library at the moment, and joining us is Patricia Soutas-Little, Leelanau County Commissioner. Sorry, I'm so used to saying that, but welcome and thank you for making time with us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
All right, how long have you been a commissioner?
This is my second term as of January.
And the question begs, I ask why would you want this job?
Well, you know, we had lived here since 2001 and received all the benefits of the community, and basically it is a time to give back kind of situation. I love Leelanau County, and I've just loved being here, the beauty of it, the nature, the people. The people are incredible. And the opportunity presented itself, and I thought, it's about
Why
time.
the heck not? Yeah,
it's about time. And plus, I think there are some things that need to be addressed that I thought I could bring my talents and expertise to.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up, because we're going to talk a little bit about affordable housing, a committee that you want to establish, an action committee, not a planning committee, but an action committee to do something about this holy grail known as affordable housing. Is this even possible?
I think it has to be possible, but it's not going to be solved by one person or one group or one committee. It's going to take a very large collection of the community to make this happen. And I think the mood is right. This past year, well, depending on who you talk to, for our businesses, particularly our service businesses, they will tell you that this has been the worst year in 10 years in terms of finding and keeping employees. And housing is the big issue. I mean, we live in a gorgeous place. We're surrounded by natural beauty. Our tourism, both of those two things come into play in terms of our quality of life. But it comes with a price, our beauty. And the price is, it's a difficult place to live in terms of affordability.
Okay, let's play the devil's advocate for a moment, and I get affordable housing. We'll talk about that in a second. But also, it wouldn't hurt if people paid more. Where does that enter into it?
It's difficult for a lot of our businesses. You know, the old phrase, half the pay for a view of the bay. But the real reason behind that is our economy, the way it's structured currently, our businesses operate 7-8 months of the year. You know, we're trying to extend the shoulders of that. But that really is the limit. And folks are trying to make a living year-round. And what that translates to is keeping salaries a little bit lower than they are in other counties. I think everybody agrees that we need to find ways to pay, a living wage. But that is going to require finding ways to bring added vitality to our economy. And that means extending those shoulders to year-round employment.
Okay, so when you talk about affordable housing, what are you really saying?
We're saying housing that's attainable for young families and working families, our workforce, both in terms of rentals, year-round, and summer or seasonal rentals.
But when you start talking about rentals, though, property owners start to balk at that because they don't like necessarily to have a lot of rentals.
That's true. And so we have to look at creative ways that we can do this. As you and I were speaking a little bit ago, what's important in trying to resolve some of the issues like housing, like increasing our workforce, like increasing our economic vitality, we have to do it in a manner that also keeps or retains all of those things about Leelanau County that caused us to move here, or those who were born here to stay here. So it's a challenge, but it's a solvable challenge because we have tremendous talent. And right now, over the past 10 years, we've lost about 16% of our young families. That affects our schools. You read in the paper all the time about whether we should have all these schools, and yet the schools are an incredible vitality for our community. Everybody goes to the plays, everybody goes to the games. It's really something that brings the community together. And it also is a talent drain. When we lose young families, we lose talent.
All right, quickly, because we're really short on time, what's the next step in setting up the committee? When should we find something out?
The committee, the goal itself passed the Board of Commissioners at the last meeting, at our February meeting. So it will now go to the Planning Commission, because it'll be housed under the Planning Commission, but will not be the Planning Commission. In fact, the committee will be comprised of all stakeholders from all areas of interest, government, local government, business, realtors, contractors, you name it. And also folks outside of Leelanau County, some of the regional groups that can really help us. So the Planning Commission will organize this, then members will be appointed, and then they'll begin to look at what they can do very quickly over the first year.
Patricia, thank you very much for making time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks to you.
At the Government Center in Leelanau County, I'm Vic McCarty for My News 26.